This is the latest documentary about the Russo-Ukraine War, where the whole city fought fiercely, without any protagonist halo and emotional drama. It's like witnessing a real war. In modern warfare, multiple arms cooperate to fight. Infantry fights in the streets, and artillery fire from both sides suppresses and counterattacks. Various modern weapons, tanks, mortars, howitzers, rocket launchers, drones, and fighter jets have appeared one after another. On the front line of the Russo-Ukrainian War, the Russian army needed to send observers into a 9-story building in the enemy theater, but the 3 buildings in front were heavily guarded by the Ukrainian army. In order not to delay the airstrike, they had to complete the task. Within 2 hours, the Russian side first launched a surprise attack on the enemy's position with grenades. Then the two sides launched a fierce, offensive and defensive battle. Under the suppression of Russian firepower, Ukraine immediately called for reinforcements. As soon as the reinforcements arrived on the battlefield, they were counterattacked by Russian grenades. The team collapsed in an instant, and could only retreat in embarrassment. The second squad of the Russian army, supported from the side and just entered the battlefield. It was intercepted by the bombs of the Ukrainian army. The Russian army, unable to advance, could only apply for tank support. The detachment used crossfire cover and successfully rescued the wounded soldier. The Ukrainian army also called for mortar attacks. At a distance of 3 kilometers and 120 millimeters from the front line, the mortar positions began to fire immediately after receiving the strike coordinates. With the cooperation of drones, it put tremendous pressure on the Russian army. The captain immediately called the headquarters for fire support. Under the detection of the drone, the coordinates of the mortar position were quickly transmitted to the 30th howitzer unit behind the Russian army. A more lethal howitzer was launched, and the Ukrainian army's mortar position was hit. With the precise blessing of drones, the mortar positions suffered heavy losses. Russian tanks also entered the main battlefield, and the shells directly penetrated the buildings, accurately into the Ukrainian camp. Under the suppression of tank firepower, the soldiers on the ground were completely powerless to fight back. Ukrainian rocket launchers were dispatched immediately. Seeing that the position was about to fall, the Ukrainian army command sent fighter jets to support it. The rocket launcher launches a surprise attack on the tank. To be hit at such close range, the tank's chain snapped. But the position of the gunner was exposed, and he was directly shot to death by the heavy machine gun of the tank. Under the powerful firepower of the tank, it successfully broke through the first line of defense in Ukraine. But the tanks were also destroyed by fighter bombs. After the first team dropped smoke bombs, the Russian army successfully approached Building 1. As soon as the Ukrainian soldiers inside came to their senses, they were killed by grenades thrown by the Russian troops outside. Immediately afterwards, the two sides launched a duel in the building. The main force of Ukraine can only be forced to withdraw. The second team of the Russian army started to clean all the rooms to clear the way for the escort. They blast directly from the outer wall. In the room, 2 Ukrainian soldiers died instantly. The Ukrainian army command saw that it had lost its first position and decided to send reinforcements. The drones of the Ukrainian army also detected the artillery units behind the Russian army, although they moved away immediately. But Ukraine's 152 mm howitzer still pursued. Under the correction of the drone, the shells are getting closer and closer to them. The commander immediately stopped the convoy. Sure enough, the next shell fell in front of them, and they had to get out of the car to avoid being injured by the shell.